Hello students. In the last class we have discussed about the salient features of kingdom Monera and regarding bacteria. In this class let us discuss about Archaebacteria. In this class let us discuss about Archaebacteria. Archaebacteria are the ancient bacteria. Archaebacteria are nothing but ancient bacteria. Ancient bacteria. And they are the early forms of life. Archaebacteria are the early forms of life. Means they existed on the earth before many years. They are the early forms of the life. In the beginning of the origination of life, at that time only Archaebacteria were exist on the earth. They were the early forms of the life. They are called as ancient bacteria. And these ancient bacteria are present in extreme habitats. They are present in extreme habitats, or they are present in harsh habitats. Harsh means tough. They are present in extreme habitats, or they are present in harsh habitats. Means harsh habitats means usually in such habitats or in such places human beings or other animals cannot live. Harsh habitats such as hot springs. Hot springs means in presence of high temperature or presence of high temperature, extreme temperature, hot springs. Then salty areas, means presence of high salt content. It may be the deep ocean, salty areas. Then marshy areas. Marshy areas means here soil particles, water molecules, everything will be present with less oxygen. Oxygen is very less in these areas, marshy areas. And they may be present in the deserts. Deserts means where the availability of water is very less, moisture content is very less, and in the absence of oxygen. Usually life will not be exist, but these Archaebacteria can live even in the absence of oxygen. That condition is called as anaerobic condition. Anaerobic condition means absence. Anaerobic means absence of oxygen. Anaerobic condition. If organisms can live in the presence of oxygen, then they are called as aerobic organisms. Human beings are aerobic. We can live only in the presence of oxygen. But there are some Archaebacteria which can live even in the absence of oxygen. That condition is called as anaerobic condition. There are different types of Archaebacteria. Mainly there are three types of Archaebacteria, such as halos, Then second one is thermoacidophiles. Thermoacidophiles, halophiles, thermoacidophiles, and third one is methanogens. Methanogens. Halophiles, thermoacidophiles, and methanogens are the three types of archaebacteria. There are mainly three types of archaebacteria such as halophiles. Halophiles means these are salt lovers. Halophiles means salt lovers. Means these are the archaebacteria which are present in the extreme salty areas. Archaebacteria which can live in the presence of extreme salty condition. Halophiles. Thermoacidophiles. Thermo means high temperature. Acido means acidic condition. Archaebacteria which can live in the presence of high temperature as well as in acidic medium are called thermoacidophiles. Then methanogens. Methanogens are nothing but methane gas producing archaebacteria. First, let us discuss about halophiles. Halophiles are nothing but the archaebacteria which can live in the salty areas. What are halophiles? These are the archaebacteria. Halophiles are the archaebacteria which can live in extreme salty areas. Which can live in extreme salty areas. It may be in the deep ocean. They are called as halophiles. Halophiles are the archaebacteria which can live in extreme salty areas. Example for halophiles. Halococcus. Halococcus is the example for halophiles. Halococcus. You should know what are halophiles and one example. Minimum one example is required. Then the second type is the thermoacidophiles. Second type of archaebacteria is thermoacidophiles. Thermoacidophiles. These are the archaebacteria. Thermo means temperature. Acido means acid, acidic condition. Thermoacidophiles are the archaebacteria. These are the archaebacteria which can live in the presence of high temperature. Human beings can live in the presence of temperature range of 37 to 40 or up to 43 degrees Celsius or 44 degrees Celsius. But these these thermoacidophiles or these archaebacteria can live in the presence of high temperature of about 60 degrees Celsius. To 80 degrees Celsius. They can live in the presence of high temperature of about 60 degrees Celsius to 80 degrees Celsius and pH of 2. This represents acidic condition. pH 2 indicates acidic condition. 60 degrees Celsius to 80 degrees Celsius, which represents the high temperature. pH 2 means it is extremely acidic condition or extreme acidic condition. In presence of extreme acidic condition of pH 2 and in presence of high temperature of about 60 degrees Celsius to 80 degrees Celsius, these archaebacteria can live. They are called as thermoacidophiles. Thermoacidophiles. Suppose the pH is 7, then that is called as neutral pH. pH 7 means neutral. pH more than 7 is nothing but alkaline or basic. If pH is less than 7, then that is called as acidic condition. pH less than 7 is called acidic, but these archaebacteria can live in the presence of pH of 2. pH of 2 means extremely acidic condition or extreme acidic condition. Such archaebacteria are called as thermoacidophiles. Example for thermoacidophiles: Thermoproteus and Thermoplasma. Thermoproteus is one example for thermoacidophiles, and another one is Thermoplasma. Thermoproteus and Thermoplasma are the examples for thermoacidophiles. Then the third one is methanogens. Third one is methanogens. Methanogens. It is the another type of archaebacteria. Methanogens. Methanogens are nothing but methane producing archaebacteria. Methanogens are the methane producers. Methane producers. Methane is the gas which is used for cooking, for lighting, or for various purposes. Especially it is produced normally in gobar gas plant. By using gobar gas plant, we can produce methane gas, gobar gas. Methanogens are the archaebacteria. These are the archaebacteria. Methanogens are the archaebacteria which produces methane gas. Methane gas. Methane gas producing archaebacteria are called as methanogens. These are the archaebacteria which can produce methane gas are called as methanogens. And these methanogens are obligate anaerobes. These are obligate anaerobes. Anaerobes means which can live in the absence of oxygen. Obligate means they are strictly anaerobes. Obligate means strict. They are strict anaerobes means they can live only in the absence of oxygen. They are the strict anaerobes. And usually methanogens are present in the marshy areas. Methanogens are present in marshy areas. They are present in marshy areas and in the gut region of the gut region means digestive system. Gut region or stomach, digestive system like stomach, intestine. They are present in the marshy areas and gut region. Gut region means digestive system, which includes stomach, small intestine, etc. Gut region of ruminant animals. Ruminant animals like buffaloes and cows. Ruminant animals like buffaloes and cows. These methanogens are present in the marshy areas and in the gut region of the ruminant animals. Means they are present in the gut region of the buffaloes and cows. Hence, in the gobar grass plant, we are using cow dungs as a raw material, because in that cow dungs these methanogens are present. The methanogens present in the gut region of the ruminant animals comes out of their body in the form of cow dungs. So the cow dung is rich in methanogens. Hence, we are using cow dungs as raw material in the preparation of gobar gas. Okay, this is about methanogens. And these archaebacteria have rigid cell wall. All the archaebacteria have rigid cell wall. Let me write the examples of methanogens. Examples important: Methanococcus. Examples of methanogens: Methanococcus and Methanobacterium. Methanococcus and Methanobacterium. Examples for methanogens. What are methanogens? Give 2 examples. This question is important. All the archaebacteria have rigid cell wall. Archaebacteria have rigid cell wall. Rigid means not flexible, strong. Archaebacteria have rigid cell wall. Rigid means which is not flexible, strong. One cannot change their shape. Whereas plasma membrane is flexible. One can change, or the plasma membrane can change its shape. But the cell wall of the archaebacteria is very rigid. It is very strong or rigid. And the cell wall of the archaebacteria is made up of proteins, especially glycoproteins. Cell wall is made up of glycoproteins and polysaccharides. Cell wall of archaebacteria is made up of glycoproteins and polysaccharides. This is about archaebacteria and its types. Kingdom Monera includes unicellular prokaryotic organisms. The best example for kingdom Monera or this kingdom includes archaebacteria, then bacteria or eubacteria, that is called as true bacteria. Next one is eubacteria. Already we have discussed few characteristic features of bacteria. Eubacteria is nothing but true bacteria. Eubacteria or true bacteria. These eubacteria or true bacteria, unicellular prokaryotic organisms. They are unicellular prokaryotic. They are unicellular prokaryotic organisms. True bacteria are unicellular prokaryotic organisms. And most of the bacteria are non-motile. Most of the bacteria are non-motile. Usually, most of the bacteria are non-motile. Non-motile means unable to move from one place to another place. They are called as non-motile. Non-motile means unable to move. They cannot move from one place to another place. Such bacteria are called as non-motile bacteria. But there are some bacteria, they are motile. Some bacteria are motile. Means some bacteria can move from one place to another place. Most of the bacteria non-motile, but there are some bacteria, they can move from one place to another place. They are called as motile bacteria. And such motile bacteria have a structure called flagella. Some bacteria are motile due to the presence of flagella. Flagella is a long hair-like structure. Flagella is a long hair-like structure that helps in movement of bacteria. Or flagella is the locomotory organ present in the bacteria. We have studied the structure of bacteria in 9th standard, prokaryotic, while studying about prokaryotic cell. Right? In that diagram, I think you have drawn like this. This is nothing but flagella. It's a long hair-like structure which helps in movement. Bacteria have cell wall, and the cell wall is rigid. And some of the bacteria are autotrophs, means they can prepare their own food. And there are some bacteria which are heterotrophs. Some bacteria are autotrophs. They may be photosynthetic autotrophs or chemosynthetic autotrophs. In the last class we have discussed. Photosynthetic autotrophs means bacteria which can prepare their own food by the process called photosynthesis. Chemosynthetic autotrophs means bacteria, they can prepare their own food by oxidizing the inorganic substances like nitrates, nitrites, ammonia, etc. and use the released energy for the production of ATP. They are called as chemosynthetic autotrophs. But there are some bacteria, they are heterotrophs. Means they may be parasites or they may be saprophytes. Right? Heterotrophic bacteria act as decomposers. They may be decomposers. Particularly the saprophytes. Saprophytes means organisms which are dependent on dead and decaying organic matter. They are dependent on dead and decaying organic matter for food and shelter. They are called as saprophytes. Such saprophytes can act as decomposers, means they help in the decomposition of dead and decaying organic matter. For example, the decomposition of fallen leaf, decomposition of the plant parts, or decomposition of the flower. Decomposition is nothing but breakdown of dead leaf, breakdown of dead flower. That is called decomposition, and decomposition done by some bacteria are called as decomposers. Some of the bacteria act as decomposers, means they decompose or break down the dead plant materials or food particles, etc. They are called as decomposers. And some bacteria are beneficial to human beings. Some bacteria are beneficial to human beings. Beneficial means helpful to human beings. Means some are used in the preparation of curd making. In the preparation of curd, particularly lactic acid bacteria. Lactic acid bacteria is used in the preparation of curd making. Then some bacteria are used in the preparation of antibiotics. Some are used in the preparation of antibiotics, medicines. Antibiotics such as penicillin. Antibiotic you might have heard. Penicillin, azithromycin, tetracycline, chloramphenicol. These are some antibiotics. Examples: penicillin, tetracycline, chloramphenicol, etc. are the antibiotics which are used as medicines. These kind of antibiotics can be prepared, particularly tetracycline is the antibiotic prepared by the bacteria. Penicillin is the antibiotic produced or prepared by using fungi. Penicillin is the antibiotic prepared by using fungi. Penicillin is the antibiotic prepared by using Penicillium notatum fungi or Penicillium chrysogenum. In higher class, you are going to study about these things. Just remember that in the preparation of antibiotics, some bacteria are used. In the preparation of curd, in the preparation of antibiotics, these bacteria are used. And some bacteria are also used in decomposition process. Breakdown of dead plant materials or animal body, etc. That decomposition process cleans the area. Particular area will be cleaned by the decomposition process. There are some bacteria which are harmful to human beings and harmful to crops, other animals, pets, etc. Means some bacteria cause diseases. Some bacteria can cause disease. They can cause disease to human beings. They can cause disease to human beings, or they can cause disease to other animals, maybe cat, dog, elephant, tiger, etc. Other animals. They can also cause disease to crops, crop plants, maybe paddy or wheat, jowar, etc. Crops and pets, etc. Pet animals, cat, dog, etc. For example, the bacterium Clostridium tetani. Clostridium tetani is the bacterium which causes disease called tetanus. The bacterium Salmonella typhi. Salmonella typhi, which causes typhoid fever. Typhoid fever is caused by the bacterium Salmonella typhi. Then Vibrio cholerae. Is the bacterium which causes cholera. In case of human beings. Many other diseases are also caused by the bacterium. Then Xanthomonas citri is the bacterium which causes citrus canker. Xanthomonas citri. CITRII. Xanthomonas citri is the bacterium which causes citrus canker disease in case of lemon, orange fruits. Causes the disease called citrus canker. It causes citrus canker disease. And crown gall disease. One more disease, crown gall disease caused by Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Crown gall is a disease caused by the bacterium Agrobacterium tumefaciens. Remember 2-3 diseases. Okay, Xanthomonas citri is the disease which develops in case of plants, lemon plants, orange plants, and this organism Xanthomonas citri or bacteria cause the disease called citrus canker. In presence of favorable condition is condition suitable for the growth, means presence of moderate temperature, presence of moisture content, and availability of food. Conditions which is best suited for their growth, that is called favorable condition. In presence of favorable condition, bacteria reproduce by binary fission. In presence of favorable condition, bacteria reproduce by binary fission. Binary fission is a method of asexual reproduction. Binary fission in 10th standard life process, how do organisms reproduce chapter, there you are studying binary fission. Bi means two, fission means splitting into two. Fission means splitting, fusion means joining. FUSION, fusion means joining. Fission, FISSION means splitting. Binary fission means splitting into two. Means here one bacterial cell, consider it's a bacterial cell. This bacterial cell divides or splits into two. It produces two daughter cells. These two daughter cells splits and produces 4, like this. Then these 4 cells splits into 2, means into 8. Like this, by binary fission, bacteria shows asexual method of reproduction. But there are some bacteria, they show sexual method of reproduction. There are some bacteria which show sexual method of reproduction. Means just they transform the DNA by a transformation of DNA. Some bacteria show sexual method of reproduction. Means consider this bacteria. Here it contains DNA. This bacteria transform the DNA into another bacteria. Means like this. This is a bacterium which transform the DNA. Here it transforms the DNA. Transformation of DNA is a method of sexual reproduction in case of bacteria. Only few bacteria shows sexual method of reproduction. Means there is no formation of gametes, just transformation of DNA. In such bacteria, only transformation of DNA takes place from one bacterium to another bacterium. And in the presence of unfavorable condition, unfavorable condition means condition which is not suitable for growth. Unfavorable condition which is not suitable for growth. In presence of unfavorable condition, bacteria produce spores. They produce spores in order to protect itself in presence of unfavorable condition, like presence of high temperature, absence of humidity in the atmosphere, unavailability of food, etc. In such condition, these bacteria produce spores like this. They produce spores, and that spores contains a thick wall like this. Once the favorable condition comes, at that time these spores germinates and give rise to new bacteria. This is about eubacteria. Important characteristic features of eubacteria. Thank you.